Wake up early and win the day. It's not just a phrase, it's a decision. If you keep waking up late, rushing, skipping your priorities, and starting your day in panic, how do you expect to feel calm, focused, or proud by the end of it? The truth is simple. People who win the day don't wait for motivation. They don't hit snooze. They get up early and take control before life pulls them in 100 directions. This video will challenge how you think about your mornings. You'll see why sleeping in isn't rest, it's delay. Why comfort in the morning always turns into frustration later, and why the first hour is where discipline, direction, and self-respect are built. If you're tired of feeling stuck and ready to lead your life again, it starts with one habit. Wake up early and take back every day you've been losing. This is where your real momentum begins. Stay with this. It's time. Number one, wake up early and stop starting your day in regret. Every day, life gives you another chance to turn things around. But the way you begin that day, the very first hour of it, sets the tone for everything that follows. And if you're waking up late, rushing, skipping, reacting, if you're dragging yourself out of bed after snoozing the alarm 3 or 4 times, you're not just wasting time, you're building a habit of regret. You're starting your day already behind. You're giving yourself stress before you've had a single win. Waking up late doesn't just hurt your schedule, it affects how you feel about yourself. It creates this quiet frustration deep down that never goes away. You know you could have done better. You know you had more in you, but you didn't follow through. And when that becomes a pattern, it turns into regret. Not just regret for the day, but for weeks, months, and eventually years, you can't get back. You need to stop doing that to yourself. You need to stop starting your day from a place of guilt. You need to stop letting the morning slip through your fingers while your potential just waits on the other side of that pillow. It's not about becoming a different person overnight. It's about making one strong decision the night before and sticking to it the next morning. Set the alarm, and when it rings, get up. Not when you feel like it, not when it's convenient, when it's time. The truth is, the first battle you face each day is with yourself. And if you keep losing that first battle, you carry that loss into everything else. Your mind starts telling you, maybe later. Your energy drops, your confidence falls, and even the small tasks feel heavy. Why? Because you've already told yourself it's okay to break promises to you. You don't need anyone to motivate you more than that. That should already feel real enough. You're not failing because you're incapable. You're failing because your start is broken. The system you're living with is broken. You're not leading your life. You're just reacting to it. And the worst part, you know it. You feel it. You know how powerful you could be if you just had your mornings together. You know how sharp, how focused, how unstoppable you could become if you just gave yourself that early start. But you keep choosing delay. You keep choosing distraction. You keep choosing a moment of comfort over a life of strength. That's the pattern. And regret is the cost. Now here's what happens when you change that pattern. You set the alarm, you hear it, you stand up even if it's hard, and now something changes in your mind. You've just won. You've beaten your weaker voice. You've started the day on your terms, and that victory will follow you all day. When challenges show up, your mind remembers. You're someone who follows through. When doubts creep in, your body feels that momentum. You already made progress before the world even woke up. Waking up early is not about productivity tips. It's about self-respect. It's about proving to yourself that you matter enough to show up early for your own life. Most people don't do it because they're waiting for motivation, but winners don't wait to feel like it. They do it because their future deserves it. And when you build that habit day after day, it starts to do something deeper. It changes the way you see yourself. You stop identifying with failure. You stop feeling like you're always behind. You stop living with this invisible weight on your chest. You start feeling clear. You start thinking better. You walk differently. You talk differently. Why? Because there's no regret following you around. There's no guilt slowing you down. You feel clean. You feel strong. You feel proud. And that's what you've been missing. That quiet pride, the one that comes from doing what you said you'd do. Not to impress anyone, not to prove anything, just to respect the person in the mirror. So stop telling yourself you're going to start tomorrow. You've said that before. And every time you break that promise, you chip away at your own self-belief. That's what regret really is. It's the pain of not acting on what you know you should have done. But you have the power to stop that today. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to get up when it's time. You don't need to run a marathon or conquer the world in one morning. You just need to show up. You need to give yourself the dignity of a strong start. You need to give yourself peace, clarity, and space before the world comes knocking with noise and problems. Early mornings are not about hustle. They're about direction. They're about stepping into the driver's seat. They're about living by choice, not chance. And if you're tired of feeling behind, then it starts here. Not in the middle of the day, not next week, not once life settles down. It starts at the alarm. It starts with the decision to get up, no matter how you feel, and show up for your future. It's not easy, and that's why it matters. Because the habits that build you will always ask for more than what's comfortable. But comfort never made anyone proud. Comfort never gave anyone momentum. What makes you proud is discipline. What gives you freedom is consistency. So don't hit snooze. Don't roll over and say just 5 more minutes. You've already lived that version of you. You know where it leads. It leads to missed opportunities, missed time, missed life. You deserve better than that. You deserve a start that builds strength, a start that builds focus, a start that builds a better version of you. Wake up early and stop starting your day in regret. Start it in power. Start it in peace. Start it with pride. Because when you own your morning, you don't just win the day, you change your life, one honest morning at a time. Number 2, get out of bed when your mind tells you not to. That exact moment when your eyes open and your brain says stay, that's the moment where change begins. That's the moment where most people lose and a few people win. It's not about energy. It's not about having enough sleep. It's about what you decide to do when your mind starts making excuses. That voice in your head isn't always on your side. It'll say, you deserve more rest. It'll say, you'll start tomorrow. It'll say, this isn't the right time. That voice is designed to keep you comfortable. It's not trying to destroy you, but it is trying to protect you from effort. And if you always listen to it, you'll live in the same loop for years. Nothing will feel different. You'll keep waking up tired, not just physically, but tired of your own promises. You don't need motivation to get out of bed. You need honesty. Be honest with yourself about where staying in bed has gotten you. Has it moved you forward? Has it helped you grow? Has it solved the things in your life you've been avoiding? Or has it given you more frustration, more guilt, more time wasted? That bed becomes a trap when you use it to escape your responsibilities. You think resting longer will help, but deep down, you're not resting. You're avoiding. You're delaying the hard part of the day. You're pushing your dreams one step further out of reach, and you know it. That's why it doesn't feel good. That's why, even after sleeping longer, you still feel tired. The most powerful change starts the second you break that pattern. When you sit up and swing your legs off that bed, despite what your mind is saying, you're taking back control. Not just control of the morning, control of your life. You're proving to yourself that you're no longer following weakness. You're not being run by how you feel. You're choosing action. Your feelings can't be trusted in the first few minutes of the morning. They lie to you. They whisper things that sound logical but are built on fear, comfort, and habit. They want you to pause, to slow down, to stay safe. But staying safe has cost you opportunities. It's taken your time. It's built a version of you that you're not proud of. And if you keep following that voice, it will keep leading you in circles. You'll never build a strong life if you only move when it feels easy. Strength doesn't show up in your comfort zone. It shows up when you say no to the easy route. It shows up when your legs feel heavy, your brain feels foggy, and you stand up anyway. That's a small win, but it sets the tone for everything that comes next. People wait for the right time to feel disciplined. That's the lie. Discipline doesn't show up at the right time. It shows up when it's uncomfortable, when your back hurts, when your room is cold, when your head is noisy and your body just wants 5 more minutes. That's where discipline lives. And that's where you find out what kind of person you really are. You have to stop expecting to feel ready. You're not going to feel ready. Most great things begin with resistance. Your body wants ease. Your future needs structure. The two will always be in conflict. You don't get to serve both. One leads to progress, the other to excuses. And every single morning you choose. Your future self is counting on you to stop living like every day is optional. That version of you that's healthier, sharper, more successful, more confident. They are not built during the big decisions. They are built in the small choices. And the first one happens when that alarm goes off. You've been here before, waking up late, feeling bad, promising you'll do better tomorrow, and repeating the cycle. You don't need another new routine. You don't need another motivational video. You need to stop negotiating with your own mind. You need to hear the alarm and act. That's it. Don't wait until your life falls apart to change your behavior. Don't wait until the pressure is unbearable. You can turn things around today, but only if you stop trusting that weak voice in your head. That voice has talked you out of too much already. It's time you stopped following it. When you get out of bed when your mind says not to, you teach yourself something important. You teach yourself that you are not weak. You teach yourself that you can break habits. You teach yourself that you're capable of showing up even when it's hard. That's the start of something new. It's never just about the morning. It's about what you prove to yourself. When you win that first challenge of the day, the rest of the day starts to bend in your favor. You walk into conversations differently. You handle problems with a stronger head. You stay focused longer. Why? Because you already beat resistance before the world even had a chance to slow you down. Don't underestimate how powerful that is. Most people have never tasted that kind of control. They've never said no to their lazy side long enough to feel the reward. But once you feel it, you don't want to lose it. That's when things start clicking. That's when you build momentum. That's when your mornings stop being battles and start being wins. Some people will say, it doesn't matter. They'll say 5 minutes won't change anything. But you know that's not true. It's not about 5 minutes. It's about who's in charge. Are you leading your life, or are you being led by old habits? Are you the one making decisions, or are you being pulled around by every thought that pops into your head? You don't need to live like that. You can wake up, feel the resistance, and move anyway. That's power, that's control, that's where your life changes. Start tomorrow different, not by setting a louder alarm, not by downloading a new app, but by making one decision tonight. When your mind tells you not to get up, you get up anyway. No arguing, no bargaining, no delay, just action. And if you do that, everything else will start to feel possible again. That's how you win. That's how you build the future you keep talking about. Get out of bed when your mind tells you not to. That moment is where you take your life back. And that's when everything starts to shift. Quietly, powerfully, for real. Number 3, wake up early and stop giving your time to nothing. There's a quiet truth most people don't want to face. You're not running out of time because life is hard. You're running out of time because you keep handing it to nothing. You wake up late, you scroll, you sit in bed thinking, you drift through your mornings, and before you know it, a full hour is gone, then another. And you didn't do anything that actually helped you. You didn't grow. You didn't move forward. You didn't build anything that lasts. That's the trap. It's not loud. It doesn't feel dangerous. It's not dramatic, but it's deadly to your future. Because the more you waste your early hours, the more you teach yourself that your goals don't matter. You start treating your time like it's unlimited. You delay the things you say are important. You keep telling yourself you'll get to it later. But later becomes a wall you never climb over. Waking up early isn't about being busy. It's about refusing to keep giving your best hours away to things that mean nothing to your progress. Those first few hours of the day are when your mind is clearest. You haven't been pulled into other people's agendas yet. You haven't been drained by noise, problems, or distractions. That time is meant for you, to get clear, to set your pace, to take care of the parts of your life that actually build strength. But most people never use it. They don't wake up with a plan. They don't protect that space, so it gets eaten up by habits that do nothing for them. And the cost of that is bigger than just time. It's self-trust. When you know deep down that you keep choosing empty actions over meaningful ones, you start to lose faith in your own ability to change. You feel it when the day ends and nothing really changed. You don't need more time. You need to stop giving it to the wrong things. You don't need a miracle morning routine. You need to get serious about your minutes. Every minute you waste doing nothing is a minute you could have used to improve your health, sharpen your thinking, build your income, strengthen your relationships, or solve the problems you've been avoiding. But instead, you let those minutes drift by, and you do it without even noticing. That's what makes this problem dangerous. It's silent. You don't feel the damage right away. You think you're just relaxing. You think you're just taking it slow. But deep down, you know you're avoiding something. You're pushing responsibility out of your reach. And that pattern keeps repeating because no one around you is holding you to a higher standard. You have to do that for yourself. Waking up early is one of the few times in the day where you get full control. Nobody's calling. Nobody's asking, nobody's demanding anything from you. It's quiet, it's yours. And when you throw that away by giving it to mindless distractions, you give up the most powerful part of your day. You give up clarity, you give up control, you give up the momentum that sets the tone for the rest of your actions. And don't tell yourself you're not a morning person. That's a label, not a fact. You became that way because you never trained yourself to value those hours. You made late nights your routine. You made noise your comfort. But it's not who you are. It's just what you've been used to. And you can change that by deciding that your life is worth more than just drifting. When you wake up early with intention, even if it's hard, even if you're tired, even if you don't know where to start, you're saying, my time matters. You're saying, I'm not letting another day begin in delay. You're saying, I'm done handing my energy over to nothing. And when you do that consistently, your life starts to organize itself around your goals instead of your distractions. You stop being reactive. You stop feeling scattered. You stop wondering where all your time went. Because now you're showing up early for yourself, before anyone else gets a say. That early wake-up builds something stronger than just a schedule. It builds identity. It builds trust. It tells your mind, this is who I am now. And that matters more than any motivation. Because once you change your identity, your behavior stops being forced. It becomes your standard. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. You don't need to chase anyone else's routine. You just need to stop waking up like time doesn't matter. You need to stop letting the first part of your day disappear into nothing. 5 minutes turns into 30. 30 turns into 2 hours. And before you know it, the window is gone. Your mind is scattered, your energy is low, and your confidence is slipping again. Think about how often you've said, "Where did the day go?" It didn't go anywhere. You gave it away. And the worst part is, you gave it to things that don't help you at all. They don't make you feel better. They don't build your future. They just fill time. And that's a poor trade. You're handing over something priceless for a moment of comfort or distraction. That's not how strong people live. That's not how winners move. They get up before the world demands them. They use that time to think clearly, to plan, to work on their health, their goals, their priorities. They do the uncomfortable things first, so the rest of the day feels lighter. And because they start with discipline, they carry that strength with them. So don't say you want change if you're not willing to change how you start. Don't say you want more from life if you keep giving your most important hours to things that give you nothing back. That's the real problem. You're not lazy, you're just distracted. You're not weak, you're just undisciplined in the first hour. Fix that, and the rest of your day starts falling into place. Start tomorrow by waking up earlier than you usually do, not to rush, not to prove anything, just to stop handing your life over to meaningless habits. Use that time. Even 10 minutes of quiet direction is better than an hour of empty scrolling. Use that time to think about what needs to change. Use that time to build strength. Use that time to move your life forward in small, real ways. You don't need more time. You just need to stop giving it to nothing. And the only way to do that is to wake up early, get focused, and finally take yourself seriously. Because if you don't value your time, nobody else will. It starts with you. Right now, not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now, wake up early and stop giving your time to nothing. Every minute matters. Every day adds up. Every morning is your chance to lead. Don't waste it. Don't drift. Don't delay. Choose action. Choose direction. Choose to show up early. Because your future is waiting, and it won't wait forever. Number 4, stand up now or keep living like yesterday again. You don't need another reminder. You already know what yesterday felt like. You know what it's like to carry disappointment in your chest all day. You know how it feels to go to bed with that quiet frustration of knowing you didn't do what you said you would. And if you're honest, that feeling has been there more often than you'd like to admit. You tell yourself you're going to change, that tomorrow will be different. But when the morning comes, nothing changes. Because you wait. You wait for energy, you wait for motivation, you wait to feel ready. And while you wait, life doesn't pause. It keeps moving. And you fall behind again. This moment you're in right now. This is where the choice is made. Stand up now, or let today become a copy of all the days you've already wasted. There is no middle ground. You're either moving forward or you're repeating what's already not working. And every day that you don't make that shift, you teach yourself to settle. You start to believe that maybe this is just who you are. Maybe you're not built for more. Maybe you just don't have it in you. But that's not true. You've just practiced hesitation so many times that it became your new normal. You can change. You can move. You can break out of the loop, but it starts with action. Not talk, not planning, not imagining, just raw physical action. The kind that doesn't feel exciting, but changes everything. The kind that starts with standing up right now, even when your body wants to stay where it is. Ask yourself, how many times have you said, tomorrow will be different? How many mornings have started with good intentions but ended the same way? Half done, distracted, stuck in the same routines, making the same excuses. That's the life you've trained yourself to accept. Not because it's what you want, but because you never got serious about ending it. You never got angry enough. You never got tired enough of your own comfort. The hard truth is, comfort is the enemy of progress. Not because comfort is bad, but because it fools you into thinking you're okay when you're not. It makes you ignore the urgency of your situation. It tells you there's no rush, that you've got time. But look at your life. Look at how many goals you've delayed. Look at the opportunities you let pass. Look at the version of yourself you keep talking about but never become. That's not time slipping away. That's you letting yourself down again and again. The answer isn't waiting. It's in rising, in standing up when you don't feel like it, in making the hard decision right now, in real time, with no emotion and no debate. Because you already know what another day of delay brings. It brings more regret, more self-doubt, more wasted time. And eventually it brings you to a place where you don't even believe in yourself anymore. If you want to avoid that, you have to stop being passive. You have to stop hoping your life will improve just because you think about it. Thoughts don't change lives, actions do. And the most powerful action you can take is the one you take when it's hardest. Not when you're inspired, not when things feel right, but right now, when it's quiet, when no one's watching, when no one's clapping, when it's just you versus that voice in your head that says not yet. That's the real battle. Not with the world, with yourself, the part of you that keeps pulling you back into yesterday, the part that says it's okay to wait, to scroll, to sleep in, to take it slow. But you've already lived like that. You've seen the results and you know deep down it's not enough. You were made for more, but more doesn't show up until you do. You won't feel different until you move differently. Standing up is more than a physical movement. It's a decision, a line in the sand, a statement to yourself that says, I'm not going back there. That version of you, the one who avoids hard things, who breaks promises to themselves, who plays small, is not welcome anymore. That version had its time, and now it's over. But here's the thing. No one's going to make that change for you. No one's going to force you to get up. No one's coming to push you. And honestly, they shouldn't have to. This is your life, your time, your responsibility. And if you care at all about who you become in the next 5 years, you have to take control now, because no one else can live this for you. You might not feel ready, that's okay. Most important decisions are made while scared, tired, or unsure. You don't need to feel ready. You need to be done with living in repeat mode. You need to be done waking up to a life that doesn't challenge you, doesn't excite you, doesn't bring out the best in you. That only changes when you move first. Not perfectly, not powerfully, just move. When you stand up, you interrupt the cycle. You give your brain new input. You create motion where there was stillness. You don't have to know your next 10 steps. Just take the first one. And let that one step shift your state. It might be standing up, it might be opening your journal, it might be putting on your shoes. Whatever it is, that one action has more power than all the thoughts you've had in the past week. And from that small action, momentum builds. Your brain wakes up. Your energy shifts. Your intention strengthens. Suddenly you're not repeating yesterday anymore. You're in new territory. And the more you stay there, the more your life starts to feel different. Not because the world changed, but because you finally did. You don't need to fix everything today. You just need to stop living like yesterday was acceptable. It wasn't. If it was, you wouldn't feel like this. You wouldn't be reading this. You wouldn't still be searching for something better. So make today count. Make it the one that breaks the cycle. Stand up and choose to move forward without the same excuses. Do it without feeling perfect. Do it without knowing what comes next. Just move, just act, just begin. Because once you do, something inside you changes. You stop being someone who wishes. You become someone who works, someone who moves, someone who shows up. And that's when things start to shift. Not just around you, but inside you. That's when confidence grows. That's when belief comes back. That's when you start to become someone you respect. Stand up now or keep living like yesterday again. That's the choice. Every morning, every minute, every moment. And the longer you wait, the deeper the rut gets. But the good news is you can climb out. You can get up. You can take back control. And once you do, you'll realize you never needed the perfect plan. You just needed to move when it mattered most. And it matters now. Not later, not tonight, now. Stand up. Start again. Build the life you know you're capable of. Because no one's going to give it to you. But you can take it if you decide. If you move. If you rise. Number 5, open your eyes early and take back your lost energy. Most people don't realize it, but the energy they're missing isn't gone. It's just buried under bad habits. It's not that life drained them. It's that they gave their energy away without noticing. Day after day, they woke up late, started slow, reached for their phone before their purpose, and gave the first part of their day to things that don't recharge anything. And that pattern repeated until their body felt tired, their mind felt dull, and their drive quietly disappeared. You didn't lose your energy. You just stopped doing the things that gave it back to you. You have to start reclaiming it, and it begins the moment you open your eyes. Not at noon, not when the world finally forces you to move, but early. Because that early hour carries something the rest of the day doesn't: space, silence, ownership. And that's what your mind and body have been craving. But you've been sleeping through it, hoping that another hour in bed will fix your exhaustion. It doesn't. If it did, you'd already feel better by now. What brings energy back isn't more sleep, it's more structure, it's more intention, it's more doing what you said you'd do. Because nothing drains you more than living in conflict with your own potential. You know what it feels like to wake up and avoid the day. You know what it does to your mood when the first thing you do is delay your own progress. And you felt the difference on those rare mornings when you actually got up early and moved with clarity. You didn't need extra caffeine. You didn't need external hype. You just felt alive because you were aligned with who you're supposed to be. That's the key. Your energy isn't missing. It's been silenced. Every time you hit snooze, you tell yourself that movement can wait, that your goals can wait, that your peace can wait. And the more you wait, the heavier everything feels. Not just physically, but emotionally. That heaviness isn't laziness. It's the weight of unfulfilled promises. It's the result of staying out of rhythm with what you're capable of. You don't fix that by running harder. You fix it by waking up on time. Because that's when you interrupt the pattern. That's when you break the cycle. When you open your eyes early and actually get up, you shock your system back into life. You send a signal to your brain that says, we're back in charge. And that alone can change how your entire day plays out. Most people underestimate how powerful the first hour of the morning is. It's not just a transition from sleep to activity. It's your launch pad. It's your reset button. It's where you get to check in with yourself, focus, and move before the noise begins. But when you give up that hour, when you sleep through your opportunity, you start your day chasing, and chasing burns energy fast. It's exhausting to always feel like you're catching up. You need to stop waking up in distress. You need to stop opening your eyes only to realize you're already behind. That rush you feel in the morning, it's not energizing you, it's draining you, and it's avoidable. You don't need more hours in the day. You need to own the ones you're wasting right now. Start by waking up before the pressure hits. Wake up before the world starts asking for your time. Use that early moment to center yourself, to breathe, to write, to think, to move your body, to start slow with purpose. That doesn't take hours. It takes a decision. A decision to stop giving your mornings away for free. A decision to get back what you've been missing. When you do that, you'll notice something strange. You'll start to feel energy where there used to be fatigue. You'll start to feel clear where there used to be noise. You'll walk into your tasks with readiness instead of resistance. Not because life got easier, but because you stopped starting your day in chaos. Energy isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's mental. And when your mind is full of guilt, delay, and distraction, it pulls your energy down with it. But when you start with strength, when you wake up and follow through, you give your mind peace. You give your heart momentum. You feel different because you're acting different. And that change compounds. It carries into every decision that follows. You can't keep living tired and expect big results. You can't build a strong life on weak mornings. If you want to feel powerful again, if you want to feel focused again, you have to get up earlier and use that time with purpose. No more dragging, no more drifting, no more letting the first part of your day be the weakest. You were not built to live in a fog. You were not made to run on fumes. You've just been living in a pattern that steals more than it gives. And now it's time to take it back. It starts with one morning, one decision. Open your eyes early and don't delay. Stand up and move, not for productivity, but for alignment. Move because you've lived too many days feeling like you're watching your own life from the sidelines. That ends now. Take the first hour and make it yours. Don't give it to your phone. Don't give it to scrolling. Don't give it to thoughts that hold you back. Use it to become clear again. Use it to feel grounded again. Use it to remember that you are in control, not your habits, not your moods. You're not broken. You're just off course. And opening your eyes early is how you start steering again. You get up, you breathe, you act, and you reset. That's the rhythm that restores your strength. That's the process that brings energy back into your life. So stop saying you're always tired. Stop telling yourself you don't have time. The truth is, you've been giving your best hours to habits that don't give anything back. And you know it. That's why you feel off. That's why you're restless. That's why your energy never lasts. Open your eyes early and use that time to rebuild your mind, to feed your purpose, to reconnect with the version of you that still wants more. That version is still in there. You've just ignored it too long. You want energy? Wake up with discipline. Move with intention. Start your day before the weight of the world hits. Give your mind space. Give your body movement. Give your spirit direction. Because energy isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. And you create it by showing up early when nobody else is around, when there's no noise, no pressure, just you and a chance to get it right. This is where your strength begins. Not in the middle of the day, not at the end of the week, right now, in the morning, when the world is quiet, when your excuses are loud. That's your moment to act. Open your eyes early and take back your lost energy. Don't wait until life forces you to change. Choose it now, while you still have time, while you still have power, while it still matters. Because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to find that energy again. But if you start now, you'll feel it. And once you feel it, you won't want to go back.
Number 6, when your morning or your day will beat you down. There's a reason most people feel overwhelmed before noon. It's not because the world is too fast. It's not because they have too many responsibilities. It's because they lost the first hour of their day. They didn't take control of it. They didn't lead it. They let it slip. And when you lose your morning, you don't just lose time, you lose control. You lose the chance to decide how the day will go. You hand over your power before the day even starts asking for it. When the alarm rings and you ignore it, you already made your first decision of the day to delay. And that decision sets off a chain. One delay leads to another. One small compromise leads to another. And soon the whole day is built on reactions instead of intentions. You wake up late, you rush, you skip planning, and before you've had a moment to breathe, your mind is already under pressure. You're not living the day, you're just trying to survive it. That's what happens when you don't win your morning. You become reactive. You're pulled by other people's problems. You're distracted by noise. You feel like the day is controlling you instead of the other way around. And it drains you, not just physically, but mentally. It steals your ability to think clearly, to make confident decisions, to move with direction. You feel behind and everything feels heavier than it should. This isn't about waking up at a specific time. It's about waking up with a decision to lead the day, not follow it. To begin with order, to choose direction before the chaos shows up. Because once the world starts moving, it doesn't wait. Emails, calls, demands, noise, they'll all come. And if you haven't grounded yourself early, you'll fall into that current and get dragged through the day without ever finding your own pace. Winning your morning means doing the things that strengthen your mindset before anything else gets a chance to weaken it. It means getting up when it's hard, moving when you'd rather stay still, planning when you'd rather drift. It means doing the small things that give you structure, journaling, reviewing your goals, stretching, setting clear intentions. These aren't fancy habits, they're survival tools. They're what keep your mind sharp when everything around you feels overwhelming. You know what it feels like when you don't have a strong morning. You carry stress that shouldn't be there. You walk into tasks with a short fuse. You're more distracted. You're more emotional. You respond instead of decide. And by the end of the day, you're not just tired, you're frustrated. Because deep down, you know you didn't lead yourself. You were pushed around by the day because you didn't claim your space at the start. You want more peace in your life. Win the morning. You want to stop feeling like you're always behind. Win the morning. You want to stop ending every day with regret. Then stop starting it in disorder, because that's where it begins. Your mindset isn't built in the middle of chaos, it's built in the quiet before it. And that quiet is only there in the early hours. You either use it or lose it. Stop telling yourself you'll get things under control later. Later never comes. Later is always full. Later is already overbooked with distractions. You can't build a life of clarity if every day starts with confusion. The moment you wake up is the only time you truly own. It's not yet borrowed by work, people, or problems. That's your window. That's where you take the lead. But it has to be a habit. You can't win one morning and expect everything to change. Just like weakness builds over time, strength does too. Every day you wake up and take charge. You're building proof. You're building identity. You're becoming someone who shows up early, who doesn't start from behind, who doesn't need a crisis to get serious. And that kind of identity, it travels with you into everything. You'll walk into challenges differently. You won't panic when something goes wrong. You'll handle people with more patience. You'll make decisions with more clarity. Why? Because your mind isn't scattered. It's already been sharpened, and it was sharpened before the world had a chance to break it. This is why so many people stay stuck. They focus on fixing their schedule in the middle of the day. But the problem isn't there. The problem is that they started wrong. They lost the morning and spent the rest of the day trying to catch up. That's exhausting. That's how burnout happens. Not because you're doing too much, but because you're never starting from solid ground. Winning your morning isn't about being busy. It's about being focused. It's not about doing 10 tasks. It's about doing one thing that puts your mind in the right place. It could be 5 minutes of breathing. It could be writing down 3 goals. It could be a quiet walk. What matters is that you do it first. Before anything else gets in, you need to protect that time like your life depends on it. Because it does. Not in the dramatic way, but in the real way. Your mental health, your discipline, your ability to perform, all of it is affected by how you begin the day. You're either building strength or letting weakness lead. And the difference is just 1 hour, one decision, one choice to start right. So stop waiting for your days to magically get better. Stop blaming the outside world. Start with what you can control. You can control what you do when you wake up. You can control whether your morning builds momentum or invites stress, and that one choice makes all the difference. Don't just wake up with direction. Don't just start the day, start it like it matters, because it does. And you'll feel that difference the moment you stop rushing, the moment you stop being reactive, the moment you start owning the way your life begins. Win your morning or your day will beat you down. That's not motivational fluff, that's the raw truth. You've lived both versions. You know how heavy the day can feel when you begin it. Already lost. And you also know how powerful it feels when you start it with intention. So decide now, not tomorrow, not next week. Now, make a shift, change your start, guard your morning. Because when you win there, the rest of the day doesn't stand a chance against you.
Number 7, wake up early and stop escaping from your own life. There's a harsh truth most people don't say out loud. You're not tired because life is too much. You're tired because you're running from it. Not physically, mentally, emotionally. Every morning you sleep in. Every time you avoid that alarm. Every moment you stay in bed scrolling or thinking about things you're not doing. You're not resting, you're escaping. You're hiding from the pressure, the responsibility, the decisions, and the reality you haven't faced yet. And the longer you do it, the further away your life gets from who you said you'd be. You weren't born to run from your own life. But when you make escape a habit, you build a version of yourself that always needs a break from reality. You start dreading mornings. You start ignoring problems. You stop checking in with your goals because you know they haven't moved. That's not peace. That's avoidance. And it's why so many people feel heavy before they've even left the house. Not because their life is broken, but because they're not showing up for it. It always starts in the morning. That's when you either choose to engage with your life or you back away from it again. The first few minutes of your day set the tone for how you treat your hours. And if you begin your day with avoidance, you end it with regret. You say, I need a break, when what you actually need is courage. You say, I'll start tomorrow, but you said that yesterday too. And behind all those excuses is a life you're not living. One filled with potential. One you still have time to build if you stop hiding from it. Waking up early is more than just a schedule change. It's a declaration that you're ready to face the truth. No more hiding, no more delay, no more pretending you're fine with how things are. When you open your eyes early and move with purpose, you're not just changing your morning, you're facing the person in the mirror. You're saying, I'm here now. I'm ready to deal with what I've avoided. This isn't about being busy. It's not about packing your calendar with more things. It's about being present again. About being awake, not just in body, but in mind. Because when you're always tired, always behind, always unmotivated, it's rarely about physical exhaustion. It's the weight of knowing you're not doing what you should. That quiet burden is what drains you. That's what makes you want to sleep more, scroll more, disappear more. But the only way to get your energy back, your self-respect back, your confidence back, is to stop running, to stop treating mornings like a curse. You have to take that early time and use it to reconnect with who you are. Think clearly, move intentionally, face what's real. That's where the strength comes from. Not from hype, not from motivation videos, from consistently showing up before your doubts get a chance to speak. The person you want to become will not meet you in bed. They're not hiding under the blanket. They're up early, working through the silence, building discipline. They're not perfect. They're not fearless, but they're present. They're engaged with their life. And every morning, you avoid that version of yourself. You lose a little more belief in your ability to become them. You're not lazy. You're not broken.
You've just built a routine around avoidance, and routines shape identity. So if your morning habit is to disconnect, then it's no surprise that the rest of your day feels like it's not yours. You're following a life you didn't design, a life made of reactions, distractions, and a low-level guilt that never leaves. But that can change. It changes the moment you stop escaping and start engaging. The moment you open your eyes early and resist the urge to disappear again. It changes when you remind yourself that no one else is going to build your life for you. No one else is going to solve your problems. No one else is responsible for your energy, your direction, or your growth. That's your job. And the first part of that job starts in the morning. The earlier you face it, the more control you have. Because once the world starts pulling on you, you'll be back in survival mode. That's why the early hours matter. Not because they're magical, but because they're yours. The only part of the day you fully control, before the phone rings, before the tasks pile up, before the outside world invades your head, you have to protect that time. Use it to check in with yourself. Use it to write, to plan, to move, to think. Use it to face the truths you've been ignoring. Because when you do, you'll feel a different kind of energy. Not the fake burst you get from caffeine or noise, but the real kind that comes from being aligned again, from knowing you're not hiding anymore. You deserve a life you don't want to escape from, but you'll never build it if you keep starting your day with avoidance. That feeling of being disconnected, lost, or numb, it doesn't go away by accident. It goes away when you step back into your life and start taking responsibility again. 1 hour, one habit, one early wake-up at a time. You don't need to change everything today. You don't need to have the perfect plan. You just need to stop disappearing from the one thing that matters most, your own path. Because if you're not showing up for your life, you're not really living it. You're watching it slip by while you stay stuck in the same pattern. That stops now. Wake up early. Face what's real. Stop escaping from your own life. Because the longer you hide, the harder it becomes to come back. But if you move now, if you decide now, if you show up early tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, you start to feel something you haven't felt in a while. Pride, direction, presence. The quiet feeling of knowing you're finally doing what needs to be done. And that feeling, it changes everything. Number 8, get moving before your doubts even start speaking. There's a small window in the morning when your mind is quiet. It's before the excuses show up, before fear reminds you of everything that didn't work, before your thoughts start pulling you in every direction. That's your chance. That's your shot to move before your doubts catch up. Because once they do, they talk fast, they talk loud, and they know exactly how to stop you. But they only win if you pause. They only get power if you give them time to speak. Most people lose their day in the first hour, not because they don't want to improve, not because they're lazy, but because they wait too long to act. They wake up and think. They overanalyze. They replay yesterday's mistakes. They scan for motivation. And while all that's happening, their doubts warm up. One by one, the questions come in. What if I fail again? What if I'm not ready? What if nothing changes? Those thoughts don't come from truth. They come from habit. You've trained your mind to respond that way because you've given it too much room to talk before you move. And the longer you sit with those thoughts, the stronger they get. Your body wants to go, but your mind steps in and paralyzes it. That's the moment most people freeze. They lose the chance to build momentum. They get stuck in thinking instead of doing. The way out of that trap is to reverse the order. Don't wait for clarity to take action. Take action before your mind has a chance to challenge you. You don't need to feel ready to start moving. You need to move so that your mind doesn't get the chance to convince you not to. Get up. Get your body moving. Start the first task. Let movement come before motivation. Let your actions speak before your doubts can. The people who build strong habits, who grow fast, who live with real confidence, they don't always feel sure. They just don't wait to be sure. They beat doubt by staying one step ahead of it. That's the secret. You don't fight negative thoughts with more thinking. You drown them out by moving faster than they do. You give your brain a new input, one it has to follow. You shift your state before it drags you into the same spiral. This matters most in the morning because your state is fragile then. Your direction is still forming. You haven't built momentum yet, and that's when doubt sees its chance. It shows up disguised as logic. You're tired, you should rest, there's time later. You've heard it before, and if you've followed it, you know where it leads, back to old patterns, wasted time, and regret. So you have to decide, do you want to be someone who waits for the right mindset or someone who builds the right mindset by doing? Because those are two completely different lives. One is passive and full of delay. The other is alive and full of power. You create that power every time you act while your mind is still trying to figure out what's happening. You create it by stepping into movement before the fear gets organized. You can't live your best life from a place of hesitation. You can't build anything strong if you're always starting late because you let your emotions take over first. Every day you wait to act is a day you leave progress on the table. And not just progress, you lose belief. You lose the evidence that says I follow through. That loss adds up, and soon you're doubting everything you say you want. But that changes the moment you move early. The moment you wake up, stand up, and do something before your doubts get a word in. That first step doesn't need to be huge. It just needs to be honest. Make your bed, start writing, go for a walk, open the notebook. Just do something that tells your brain, we're in motion now. That's when everything shifts. Your brain is designed to follow your body's lead. If your body stays still, your brain fills the space with thoughts. But if your body moves, your brain starts catching up. That's why you feel different once you get going. That's why you feel stronger halfway through a workout, even if you didn't want to start it, because you changed your state by moving first. It's not about ignoring your feelings. It's about not letting them lead. Feelings change all the time. Some days you'll feel strong. Some days you won't. But your discipline doesn't have to depend on your mood. You don't need to win the whole day in one move. You just need to take the first step before the inner noise gets loud. Every time you do this, you take back ground from the part of your mind that wants to keep you small. That part will always exist. It's not going away. But it doesn't get to run the show unless you let it. And when you show up early, when you start strong, when you choose movement over mental delay, you remind yourself who's in charge. And that reminder builds something deeper than results. It builds identity. It builds a kind of trust that doesn't break when things get hard. You stop saying, I'll try, and you start saying, this is what I do. That shift can't be faked. It's built in the dark, quiet moments when you move before you think. It's built when you beat the voice in your head by acting before it even speaks. You've lived long enough letting doubt decide your pace. You've seen where that leads. You've had too many mornings where nothing happened because you waited too long to do anything. That version of you doesn't need more time. It needs to be replaced. Replaced by action, by intention, by the version of you that doesn't wait to feel ready. The one that gets up and gets going before excuses start lining up. So tomorrow, the moment your eyes open, don't give yourself time to negotiate. Don't scroll, don't think, don't wait. Move. Get up and do the first thing. Get your body in motion, your heart rate up, your thoughts directed. Don't let doubt even get the microphone, because once it starts talking, it's hard to ignore. But if you move fast enough, it doesn't even show up. Get moving before your doubts even start speaking. That's how you stop repeating the past. That's how you start becoming someone you actually believe in. Not by overthinking, not by planning every detail, but by acting before your hesitation wakes up. That's when things change. That's when you change. That's when momentum starts to work for you instead of against you. And that's how you win. Quietly, consistently, early.
Number 9, wake up early and stop watching others pass you. It doesn't feel good when you look around and see people moving ahead while you're still trying to get started. You scroll through your phone and see people reaching goals, building discipline, doing the work, and you sit there thinking, why not me? But deep down, you already know the answer. It's because you keep choosing to wake up late. You keep choosing comfort first. You keep choosing delay. And every time you do, you give someone else a head start on a life you say you want. The truth is, most people don't lose because they're incapable. They lose because they sleep through the part of the day where the real edge is built. That early morning time when everything's quiet and no one's watching, that's where focus lives. That's where you build an advantage. That's where you get to move without competition, without noise, without distraction. But if you sleep through that time, you spend the rest of your day reacting. You chase instead of lead. You scroll instead of create. You watch instead of act. That's the problem. You've made it a habit to observe life instead of participate in it. You start the day behind and then try to play catch up with people who were already moving before you even woke up. And it eats at you. It builds frustration, not because others are doing well, but because you know you could be doing more. You know you've let yourself drift too long. And every morning that you wake up late, you're reminded that you're not giving yourself a real shot. You were never meant to just watch. You were built to do, to lead, to grow, to build. But none of that happens if you keep giving your mornings away to habits that drain your fire. You can't expect to feel confident when your days start in delay. You can't expect to feel focused when your first move is hesitation. And you definitely can't expect results when your actions are built around excuses. Waking up early isn't about being busy. It's about taking responsibility. It's about deciding that you're not okay with being a spectator anymore. It's about cutting the excuses and saying, if I want progress, I have to show up when it counts. And the morning counts. It's not optional. It's not extra. It's the foundation of your day. When you build that right, everything else becomes possible. You've probably said to yourself, I'm not a morning person, but you didn't become a night person on purpose either.
You trained yourself to scroll late, sleep late, and wake up tired. That's not who you are. That's just what you've practiced. And anything practiced can be changed. But change requires action, not promises, not motivation, not another plan. Just one decision. Tomorrow, you wake up early and you use that time. Use it to learn, use it to train, use it to plan, use it to build the skills that matter to your future. While everyone else is still sleeping, you could already be gaining, and those small gains add up. One early morning becomes 3, then 10, then 30, and soon you're not watching anymore. You're moving, you're growing, you're doing. You're no longer living in frustration because now your habits match your ambition. It's not about competing with other people. It's about not falling behind on your own potential, because watching others pass you doesn't feel good. It chips away at your belief. It makes you doubt yourself. It makes you think maybe you're just meant to stay where you are, but you're not. You've just let too many mornings slip. You've handed over too much time to things that don't build you. And now it's time to take that back. Start with one morning. Set the alarm earlier than usual. And when it rings, don't argue with yourself. Don't reach for your phone. Don't look for reasons to stay in bed. Just stand up. That's the win. That's the moment that begins to rebuild everything. Because when you stand up, you're no longer escaping. You're showing up. And that simple act breaks the pattern. Then do something with that time. Don't waste it. Don't use it to scroll or overthink. Use it to take action. Read, write, walk, train, study, build something, anything that reminds you what progress feels like. That early progress will set a tone for the rest of your day. You'll walk differently, think more clearly, speak more confidently, not because the world changed, but because you did. And you'll notice something powerful. The more you wake up early and use that time, the less you care about what others are doing. You stop comparing. You stop feeling behind. Why? Because now you're in motion. You're building your own story. You're focused on your own steps. That's the difference between watching and doing. One creates envy. The other builds pride. There's no shortcut. There's no secret formula. It's just a choice you make over and over again until it becomes who you are. A person who wakes up early. A person who doesn't wait for the world to push them. A person who takes the lead in their own life. And that person doesn't get past. That person moves forward, whether others are watching or not. You've watched long enough. You've waited long enough. You've seen enough reminders of what you could be. Now it's time to act. Not later. Not next week. Tomorrow morning. Set the tone. Wake up early and stop watching others pass you. Because you can do more. You can be more. And it starts by getting ahead while the rest of the world still sleeps. You don't need permission. You don't need to feel ready. You need to move. You need to decide that your goals matter more than your comfort. That your future matters more than a few extra minutes of sleep. That your peace won't come from watching others. It'll come from finally doing something that builds you. Wake up early and stop letting time pass you by while you watch someone else live the life you keep talking about. Build it, earn it, take the first hour and make it yours. You don't need to win the day in one shot. You just need to start it better than you did yesterday. That's the new standard. You don't live in delay. You don't live in comparison. You don't live in regret. You live in action. You live in motion. You live like your goals actually matter to you. And when you do that, you'll never feel behind again because you'll be too busy leading your own path to care about anyone else's.
Number 10, take control in the morning or stay stuck another year. This isn't about productivity. This isn't about routines or hacks. This is about your life, about whether you're going to keep waking up the same way, doing the same things, feeling the same way, and calling it progress. You don't need another 12 months of going in circles. You don't need to live another year wishing you had started sooner. What you need is to wake up, face the truth, and take control, starting from the first hour of your day. Because if you don't take command in the morning, the rest of the day decides everything for you. You've been here before, telling yourself you'll start next week, you'll fix your habits, you'll take your life seriously. But the days keep blending into each other. And the only thing that really changes is how frustrated you feel about staying stuck. That's not bad luck. That's a lack of control. That's what happens when you keep waking up without a plan, without a purpose, without a moment where you lead yourself before the world gets its hands on you. The morning is not just a time slot. It's the mirror of your discipline. How you use that first part of the day shows what you value. If you're always rushing, always reacting, always scattered, it's not because life is too chaotic. It's because you gave up control before the day even began. And if you keep doing that, nothing will change. Not in 6 months, not in a year, because no transformation happens in a day that starts in chaos. Taking control in the morning doesn't mean you need to be perfect. It means you stop waking up like your time doesn't matter. It means you stop opening your eyes and diving straight into distraction. You don't need to journal for an hour or do something extreme.
You just need to be intentional. Get up, move, set your direction. Make one solid decision before the noise starts. That's control. That's where everything shifts. You've wasted enough mornings, think about it. How many days did you begin with good intentions, but by mid-morning you were already behind, already stressed, already off track? That's not a time management issue. That's a mindset problem. You started your day with no structure, and it cost you clarity. And when there's no clarity, everything becomes heavier. Small problems feel bigger. Simple tasks feel overwhelming. You lose energy not because the work is hard, but because you're mentally scattered before you even get to it. You say you want to grow. You say you want to change. You say you're tired of being stuck. Then show it. Get up and take command of the one thing you do control, how you begin. You can't force results. You can't control people. You can't predict outcomes. But you can wake up with focus. You can lead your morning. You can build a pattern that leads to real progress instead of fake productivity. If you don't, the next year will look just like this one. Same routines, same struggles, same goals written in notebooks that never get finished. It's not because you don't care. It's because you never truly created a system that supports you. And that system begins at the start of each day. Before the meetings, before the problems, before the distractions. Right when you wake up, that's the moment that makes the difference. There is no magic to it. There is only choice. Every morning you decide. Do you lead or do you follow? Do you act or do you delay? Do you build or do you drift? And that decision shapes not just your day, it shapes your year. Because days add up, habits compound, identity forms. And if your morning is out of control, your progress will be too. You've got to stop underestimating how much power there is in that first hour. You're not tired of life. You're tired of the way you've been living it. You've been in a loop, not because you're lazy, not because you lack ability, but because you haven't taken full ownership of your mornings. Ownership isn't just about waking up early. It's about doing something with that time that moves your life forward. That could mean planning your priorities. It could mean physical training. It could mean reflection. It could mean solving problems instead of avoiding them. It doesn't matter what the action is, as long as it's yours, as long as it belongs to your vision. That's what separates people who grow from people who stay stuck. One group waits for the day to shape them. The other group shapes the day first. You don't need another plan. You don't need a better calendar. You need to wake up and decide that you're done living on autopilot. You need to look at your life and admit that drifting through the morning is costing you too much. It's costing you progress. It's costing you clarity. It's costing you the belief that you're capable of more. But here's the good news. You can take it back, starting tomorrow, not with a perfect plan, just with one decision. Wake up earlier than usual. Don't reach for your phone. Don't open up social media. Don't fall back into the pattern. Just sit up, breathe, think, decide who you need to be today, and do something that matches that person, even if it's small, even if it's uncomfortable, especially if it's uncomfortable. That's how you reclaim your direction. You don't wait until life forces you to get serious. You don't wait until it's January again. You stop playing with time. You stop talking about potential. You stop carrying around goals that have no real plan behind them. And you do something different when it matters most, at the start of the day. This isn't about being more productive. It's about becoming someone who leads themselves, who doesn't get tossed around by emotion, who doesn't live in cycles, who doesn't need another year to realize that change starts with consistency, not intensity. Take control in the morning, or stay stuck another year. That's the choice, and no one can make it for you. Not your coach, not your mentor, not your family. It's you. You are the one who has to get serious about how your day begins, and you'll know if you've done it, because you'll feel different. You'll stop living in confusion. You'll stop carrying stress that isn't yours. You'll start trusting yourself again. And that trust, that's where real confidence comes from. So make the move. Wake up early. Don't wait to feel ready. Get clear. Get grounded. Get moving. Because the life you want isn't going to wait another year for you to decide. It's already passing. Take it back. Start tomorrow in control. And let that one decision be the reason you never live stuck again. If you want to change your life, start by changing your mornings. Wake up early. Not for the world, but for yourself. That one habit builds clarity, control, and confidence. Don't keep waking up late and calling it self-care. That's how years get wasted. Take responsibility for how your day begins, and you'll stop feeling lost by the end of it. Start tomorrow with action, not excuses. Lead your life from the first hour. Because the people who win the day don't do anything special. They just stop losing their mornings. Make the choice now. Wake up early and take your life back.